Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. Now, during All-Star Weekend, the question came up to Kawhi Leonard, and the question is, how do you feel you guys, the Clippers, are going to do in the playoffs if you guys are all healthy? And the question I want to ask you guys is, do you believe Kawhi Leonard when he says that if the Clippers are healthy, they are going to win it all this coming playoff? So that's what I want to get into this video today. So all of you guys have been following the season up to this point. You know, we just got through All-Star break, depending on the time you're seeing this video. And going into the All-Star break, the Clippers had lost, I think it was 2 games in a row. I think they lost one to the Philadelphia 76ers, and they lost one to the Boston Celtics on an Eastern Conference road trip that they had. And Paul George went out in one of those games, I believe it was against the Sixers, and he never came back. And there've been so many questions about the health of the Clippers this season, and that seems to be the reoccurring theme. Now, it comes from a number of places. The first thing, it comes from the constant sort of resting that Kawhi Leonard has been taking due to an injury that a reoccurring injury that he's kind of nursing. Then there's the inconsistency that Paul George has had, because remember, in the offseason, he had shoulder surgery. Now he's been having some issues with his hamstring, which has caused him to miss quite a bit of games. And then you also have Patrick Beverley, who's also been in and out of the lineup dealing with injuries this season. As we're doing this video, the Clippers are still the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, behind the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. And they've had a lot of inconsistent plays. And listening to you guys in the comment section, I have to say that I concur with a lot of you when you say that you believe that 1, health could play a big role, and 2, the fact that the Clippers don't scrimmage enough, that they don't practice enough, could really hurt their chemistry. But when the TNT crew was asking this question to Kawhi Leonard, I think it was Charles Barkley that posed the question to him. He sort of had this approach of his answer sort of gave me the idea that he felt like after the All-Star break, the Clippers are really going to try to ramp it up and start playing a lot of consecutive games together to build their chemistry on the floor. Now, you guys know, really great championship teams always want to make sure that they're peaking towards the end of the season. You don't want to peak mid-season. You don't want to peak, before the All-Star break and all these different things, because you're not playing your most important games. Now, talking about February, March, April, when seeding starts to become a real important thing. And I think that the Clippers coaching staff really are beginning to really make it a real emphasis that they actually focus on playing their players in consecutive games back to back to start building this chemistry. So when Kawhi Leonard says that, he believes that if everyone is healthy, then they're going to win it all, I think that also puts an onus on his shoulders to go out there and start playing games back to back. Now, some of you guys watching the video may say, well, hold up a minute, I think Kawhi Leonard is a playoff player. And as Kawhi being my favorite player currently in basketball, I agree that he does play for the playoffs, but there's a certain thing as building team chemistry that's really important. And I think other teams have been able to do that. If you look at the Lakers, granted, they haven't suffered as many injuries as the Clippers have, but they're playing these games. And you have to think, LeBron James is 35 years old, and he's going out there and playing these games. Yes, I think he's someone that enjoys to play basketball. Yes, I believe he wants to put up good stats for his all-time career rankings. Yes, but I think also he understands the importance of playing games with his team. And they asked Kawhi, Charles Barkley asked him, how many times have you guys as a team practiced together for the entire season? And his answer was quite surprising. He said they've only practiced about 10 times throughout the season, which is, I'd have to say, is a bit alarming, and I'll tell you the reason why. I can understand if this was an older team full of older players, whereas they don't need to practice as much and they play games together, so you can say, okay, we're getting our practice on the court when we're going out there playing these games, experimenting with different lineups, still trying to learn the offense, putting in different sets, working on certain defensive schemes throughout the games. I understand that. The problem is, though, the Clippers are not an old team, and 2, they don't practice much together. And this is the issue, because, Kawhi is saying this, and it sounds good to say, yeah, once we start playing games together, but that hasn't really been happening. Now, I think for him to be true with his statement, I think he needs to really be the one to sort of lead the way with the organization as far as playing these games. It's not about him proving to people that he's resting for the sake of resting, but you're doing it for the betterment of your team. They need to see their leader out there going through the grind, actually ramping it up. Now, if you look at his numbers this season, he's averaging all career highs. If I look at it, this season he's averaging 27.2 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists. He's playing 32.5 minutes a game, which is about a minute and a half less than he did last season on average. He's played about 42 games. He's shooting 46% from the floor, 37.5% from the three-point line, 89% from the free throw line, and he's getting you close to 2 steals a game with 1.8 steals a game. So he's putting up all career numbers, but these, in the end, these are just numbers. What's important is if you have your chemistry with your teammates, you understand each other's tendencies, because I guarantee you a lot of teams going into these playoffs, they're going to make sure that they're ready and chemistry is not going to be an issue. Because when you get to the playoffs and you don't have chemistry, but you have a lot of talent, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of miscommunication on the court. But once everyone sort of knows what their roles is, they know what their strengths and weaknesses are, then I think it's going to really, really help them, because this team has the potential to win the championship. And if you look at some of the team numbers, for example, the Clippers are top 5 in scoring at number 4. They get you about 115.9, so let's say 116 points a game. They're number 3 in rebounding. They're getting you about 48.2 rebounds a game, behind the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the number 1 rebounding team in the league. Now, they're not the best team as far as assisting the ball. That's for that one you have the Lakers and Memphis Grizzlies and other teams that are doing that at a really efficient level, but they have sort of the makeup of a championship team, which is a team that can rebound but also has the ability to score. They have a lot of great wing defenders on their team, so they have all of these things in place that can really facilitate them to become a championship team. But I think it goes beyond just words, and that's where I agree with a lot of you guys in the comment section. Listen, I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan, but I'm also a bit objective. I don't like the fact that he doesn't play all of these games. One, because I think it doesn't serve any purpose to his team if he's not on the court. Now, granted, I understand if he's injured, that's one thing, but I think Kawhi Leonard can play through these games, because last year in the playoffs, he played every single game and his minutes were up. So he has it in him to do it. Another video we did not too long ago, probably about a month ago, I spoke about the importance of Kawhi needing to be more aggressive on offense. And the thing that really prompted me to make that video was when I saw him score about 43 points in less than half an hour. And I was like, wow, he scored 43 points in 3 quarters. I was like, I didn't know Kawhi had this type of offensive game in his repertoire. I didn't know he was that type of player, because Kawhi has only scored over 40 points 6 times in his career. If you want to contrast that, think of Kobe, who scored over 40 at least, I think 160 or 180 times. And that has everything to do with your mentality. Kawhi Leonard is very efficient. He's more efficient of a scorer than Kobe. Not that he's a better scorer, but he's much more efficient. He knows where to pick his shots and everything like this. And he has the ability to do so. So I think Kawhi can push himself. And this is why I tip my hat to LeBron, because LeBron James, at the age of 35, is going out there and laying it on the floor. The guy is averaging a career high in assists, leading the league in assists with over 10 assists a game. That's remarkable. And I think for the Clippers to be able to do so, Kawhi definitely has to step it up. And these guys need to get healthy, but they also need to play these games. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that the Clippers can win the title if they're healthy? Or do you think that due to the fact that they have not been practicing as much, they don't have enough team chemistry thus far in the season, you think another team that has been more consistent with their players actually playing these games have a better chance to win the championship? Whatever you think, please let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, because I believe this topic is going to continue to trend as the season moves forward, as we move into the playoffs. And whatever happens in the playoffs, I believe we're going to refer back to this video that we did talking about whether or not the Clippers should have played more games together. So once again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when all of our newest and hottest content comes out. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamers Pro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.